All right, and welcome back to another episode of the Shadow Mark Podcast. We are live here tonight, shooting an episode. I'm really excited to be here tonight. It's been a hell of a week, let me tell you, and I'm glad to be here right now where I'm at. I am Derek Thompson. With me always is Mr. TJ,
What's up?
and we've got a special guest here tonight from Primal Outfitters, and I'll let him go ahead and introduce himself.
Hey guys, how's it going? Thank you for having me on the show. My name is Josh Gunnison. Everybody calls me Gunny because of my last name. I was a Lance Corporal in the Marine Corps, 2-7, 0311, and I started a 501c3 nonprofit, the Primal Outfitters.
I love it, man. So we're excited to have you here. For those of the listeners that don't know, 0311's infantry. That means he shot shit, made things go boom kind of thing. Did his thing, and we're very thankful for that. Why don't you give us a breakdown, Gunny, of kind of your life before the military?
So I grew up small town, small country town, grew up on a farm, uh, wrestled, boxed. I mean, pretty much everything that I could do, as physical sports. My grandpa got me into wrestling. He was a Vietnam vet, huge instrumental part of my life. Taught me how to hunt, taught me how to fish, took me to deer camp, took me up to the Upper Peninsula, the UPA. Took me up there quite a bit. Spent a lot of time on the water with him, spent a lot of time fishing with him. Pretty much learned everything that I know from him. It was, he was like my dad, in a lot of ways, and took me under his wing. And a lot of people say when I was born, it kind of changed the type of man that he was. So my mom went out to actually go tell him that dinner was ready, and she slipped and fell. He was out ice fishing, and she slipped and fell on the ice and put her into labor.
Oh,
So
yeah, you're the cause.
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear, man. So you have, this life growing up, you're doing all these different things. You had the chance to, get out there and fish and hunt and do all these different things. What leads you up to your decision to join the military?
My grandpa, really, he was in the Army, and I kind of wanted to one-up him. And so I knew, I mean, it was pretty much as a child, I didn't really have too many other aspirations to do anything else. I knew growing up through high school, I mean, throughout all school, that it's what I wanted to do. So going into high school and stuff like that, that's kind of what I more or less prepared myself for. I went to EMT school. I moved through my mom getting married and stuff like that. So kind of left the small hick farm town setting and went to kind of more of a more city tourist setting. And so they had more schooling options and different stuff like that. So knowing I wanted to go into the Marine Corps, knowing that I wanted to be infantry, that's why I took the EMT class, so I'd have some medical knowledge and stuff like that. And so that's why it's why I joined. I mean, honestly, I didn't see any other real option for me, and I didn't want to do anything else.
Right. So what was that decision like, deciding that you want infantry, especially? Because, a lot of people are afraid of the thought of combat. They're afraid of that ideal, especially, I guess I don't know when you joined. When did you join?
I joined in 09.
In 09, especially then, we're in a time of war. We've got a lot of different things going on. What's that decision look like to be like, yeah, I want to go be a fighter?
Honestly, I wouldn't accept any other contract. I went through 3 recruiters. I stuck with it. I got offered MP contract with a $10,000 signing bonus. I got offered all sorts of different contracts with signing bonuses, and finally I got an infantry recruiter, Sergeant Jenkins. Still, I ended up in the same unit as him, ironically enough, later on down the road, but I didn't want anything else. It wasn't a question in my mind. I had a few guys that I grew up with that were older than me that had joined, and one of them was killed in Fallujah. So I don't know, watching 9/11 happened in my was it fourth grade classroom.
Yeah.
Watching 9/11 happen over the TV and stuff like that, and then having guys that I grew up with, go and fight and go overseas and stuff like that. There wasn't a question in my mind of what direction I wanted to go with it. It wasn't, I wasn't going to go be some sort of, paper pusher, no offense or anything like that. I didn't see that path for me
Right.
at all. And so when Sergeant Jenkins called me, he was like, "Hey man, I got a recon contract for you. You'll go through infantry school. It's basically an infantry contract, $7,500 signing bonus. We'll get you through infantry school. Worst case scenario, you won't make it through recon school, but you'll still be infantry." So I ended up taking that contract and spent the next year of my life doing training.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, I'm fucking thankful that you did it. So you got in the Marine Corps. What comes in with your service then? What's service for you?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, a lot of the guys that I served with, unfortunately aren't here anymore. A lot of them, a couple of them were killed overseas, and I'm talking about from the start, from boot camp all the way through infantry school and everything. Like we've lost a lot of my generation, and through my herd of guys that went through, a lot of them have committed suicide at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I deployed with my unit. I did what I had to do. I went where I had to go. And yeah, I mean
I get what you're saying, man.
and
it was service.
so there are a lot of days that I miss it. I miss the guys that I served with, and I'm still close with quite a few of them. But there's a lot of guys that aren't here anymore that still should be here, that were way better Marines than what I was, and did way greater things than what I did.
Yeah, and I think we all feel that way,
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're out here doing what you're doing now, and that's what makes you you. And we're thankful to have you here. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are thankful. So, we can't beat ourselves up about stuff like that. That comes with the mental health side of this whole thing that we try to talk about, where it's, we got to be willing to talk about mental health. So do you have any like monumental, I guess, portions of your service that stuck out where like you built that camaraderie extensively that like stick out to you?
Yeah, one in particular. We were on, it was our first deployment. We were on a MEU, 31st MEU. So we were in Oki, or we were out of Oki camp, on Camp Hansen, and we left from there to head south, and we did some training exercise on some POS Philippine Island. And so we got in our tracks. We were on the Germantown. Our unit split. I believe we were on the Germantown for this part. Yeah, we were on the Germantown. So our unit was split between the Germantown. 2-7 was split between the Germantown, the Essex, and the Denver. And we splashed on AAVs out of our ship and went to this POS island. in the Philippines. And we got there, we did our little raid or whatever you want to call it, and a tropical storm came in, and the ships left us there, and we had nothing but our day, like our day packs, and like field stripped MRE, and maybe our poncho liner, and that was pretty much it. And so this tropical storm hit us, and we hunkered down in these little shitty I don't even know what kind of huts they were, but we hunkered down in these little shitty huts, wetter than a freaking rat, just soaked to our bones, pissed off at the Navy for leaving us on a shithole island. And they took off for deeper water because those ships are flat bottom ships. Those amphibious assault ships don't handle well and that kind of stuff. So
Right.
we basically got left there for way longer than what we were supposed to be. And it was just, I don't know. We sat in these shitty huts and just laughed pretty much the whole night. And I mean, it was just one of those really shitty situations that we joked. We used what we had and made the best out of kind of just a really crappy situation. And I mean, I don't know, that one time, you know what I mean? Like that one I always remember that one and try to hold on to those good memories and stuff like that, even though we were abandoned by the Navy. And I mean, we could have easily got back into our tracks and freaking made it back out to them, but we got back to the beach and our boats were gone, and we're like, what the fuck? It's like, where did you guys go? So no, that was definitely an interesting time, and definitely, it made me realize how, because we were nut to butt huddled together to stay warm at the end of the night. So
right.
You know what I mean? It was just one of those times that, the best of us came out, and, guys that didn't necessarily always got along that night.
That's awesome.
There's something funny about, spooning naked with some other dudes that just makes you a little bit closer afterwards.
We weren't completely naked. All right. We had silkies.
You have to have the silkies.
It's all about body warmth. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I mean, that was a key, that was the key part of it, is making sure we stayed warm.
Well, somebody has to keep you warm, that's just how it goes.
That's what Doc was there for.
I'm too hairy to be Little Spoon, so I mean.
There for. Eric, Jason, Mark, what's up? Thank you guys for listening. Appreciates it. Eric, the Primal Outfitters. That's what I'm talking about. And that's what we're going to talk about next. So you did all this stuff in service, man. And I guess I'm assuming that's kind of what has been leading up to what created what you've got now.
Yeah, man. So I got out 2014. Kind of just went ghost for a while, dropped off the map, didn't really talk to too many guys. And then I started finding out, guys that I was close to weren't here anymore. Our unit went to Afghanistan, and we came back without any KIA. Not very many units can say that.
Yeah, not very many at all.
And our unit was in Sangin. So what year
were you all in Sangin?
It had been 2013, 2012 to 2013. So finding out that, guys like Bradley Coy, and I mean, my bracelets have quite a few of the guys I was close to, on, Sergeant Beale, Dunstan, all these guys that, I knew really, really well and had a personal connection with. Cass, You know, losing these guys that I had looked up to, and some of them being my seniors, you know, losing those guys, it really messed with me. And so I started reaching out to more guys and getting back in the loop with stuff. Corey Schaefer, he started To Valhalla Project, which is an awesome program. Me and him talk regularly. He was in our unit. We served together. So, just losing these guys and stuff like that, and just the astronomical amount that we have lost at this point. I went down kind of a dark path with it, and in 2018, I attempted to take my own life, and was thankful that EMS got to me in time and was able to keep me alive. I spent some time in Ward 39 in Battle Creek. Struggled quite a bit with a couple of different, alcohol addiction and different stuff like that. And I felt lost, and I moved from the situation that I was in and up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I moved back down to South Haven. Basically left a $300,000 house and my ex-wife and moved down here to restart. And I started working in a field that I felt really comfortable in. I was pro staff for a company called Hood Outdoors, and I taught archery. I taught people how to tie fishing line, how to rig their poles, where to fish, how to fish. And it brought me a peace again. And just being out in nature and going back into what my roots were really, really helped me, see the light, I call going out into the woods, is going into my church, and I started connecting with other like-minded people, going winter camping and going hunting and fishing and just all this different outdoor stuff. I took botany classes, and just connecting back with nature really, really helped me. And going into last year, go back to the Hood Outdoors sport. So I did a veteran youth archery league where I paired a veteran with a kid together and made him shoot instinctively. So that was really cool. People couldn't just show up with a $3,000 Matthews bow and freaking sit there and smoke bowls all day. You know what I mean? It was a Matthews Genesis bows with a whiskered biscuit, no sights, and finger release. So I did that program. Felt really good about it. Going into last year, I had finally caved in and started going to the VA again and put my disability in for the VA, and not expecting too much. Jumped through all the hoops, did the appointments, did what I had to do. And I had a job offer to go be a remote fishing guide in Alaska at this point, because I had been fishing with different charters and first mating for different charters in the South Haven area. So I had this job offer. Things weren't necessarily going good at Hood Outdoors, just with the way that company was being ran. And I was ready to leave there. And so I worked all Memorial Day weekend, busted my butt, and basically got told that following Tuesday, because I had Monday off, which was Memorial Day. I had Monday off, went back to work Tuesday, taught an archery lesson basically with the time that I'd worked. And then that Wednesday got a text from the owner of the company saying, well, why aren't my arrows fletched? What do you mean, dude? I busted my ass all fucking weekend for you. I had a helper that was scooping minnows, but I was taking care of everything else by myself. I was taking care of bows. I was doing this. I was taking care of people fishing stuff, everything else. how can you come at me over your personal arrows not being fletched? Like
Right.
the customers come first. And
They should anyway.
yeah, well, he didn't see necessarily eye to eye with me with that, and pretty much told me that he comes before the customers. And I lost my shit on him and told him he was a peasant. And and pretty much it was, yeah, you're either firing me or I quit. And he told me to come pick up my shit, so I went and picked up my shit.
I mean, that's a very Marine Corps thing of you to do.
So there was the end of that job. So I was pretty much, all right, well, looks like I'm going to Alaska. So
sounds like a good option.
And then I found out some stuff about my grandpa's health, and he necessarily wasn't doing very good. And like I had said before, my grandpa was my rock. That man, he taught me everything I know. He taught me how to do everything that I already know, that I know how to do. And I passed up the job to go to Alaska and told them, like, look, we're going to get our family boat. It's a 20-foot center console sea nymph. We're getting the boat out of storage. I'll pay for it, whatever. We'll get it fixed up, get what needs to be done to it. We're going to get it back in the water. We're going fishing this summer. Got the tags for it, got the boat out of storage. My grandpa passes away. And so that hurt. And so it's like, well, crap, I passed up this job to go to Alaska to take him fishing, now what am I going to do?
Right.
And so dealing with family stuff like that, talking with my grandma, talking with my aunt, my mom, like, I want grandpa's boat. I grew up fishing I had pictures of me as a little kid, holding up salmon bigger than I am on this boat, and just all the memories and everything else. It was only me and my grandpa, on that boat ever. So I got in kind of a little bit of a family feud over it and stuff like that. And then, well, I get a letter in the mail from the VA with a 100% disability rating. So it's like, well, shit, like everything just magically, everything started falling into place. I got my disability rating at 100%. And I got the boat inherited to me. And then it was like, well, I can't work anymore. Like, I can't go work a 9 to 5 anymore. I can't, Alaska, obviously I would have had to come back from Alaska, especially with my grandpa's funeral and everything. So just, I don't know, God works in mysterious ways. I was working with another guy and helping him out with his nonprofit, Valor Training Center, he was John Michael's a 100% disabled Navy veteran. He was going through buds and fell 2 stories and landed on his noggin. Jeez. And lived. Miraculously, he lived. And so I was working with him and helping him out with his nonprofit, and we had these ideas and everything, and we were sitting up at the American Legion post in South Haven and post 49, beautiful post. We were sitting up there, and Primal Outfitters was born. It's like, look, dude, you have this really, you're really good with kids. You're really good with people. You're really good with talking to people. You're really good at teaching people, do something with the outdoors. Take people out doing what you're good at. You're good at hunting. You're good at fishing. You're good at camping. You're good at all this stuff outdoors. Take veterans outdoors. Show them that, show them the peace that you have with being one with nature. Show them the peace that you have being out on the Great Lake fishing, the serenity of it. Maybe beating a little bit of tunes here and there, if the fish ain't biting, play some fish catching music, that kind of thing. But show them your church. Take them out into the woods, put them in a deer blind. Show them that there's more things out there, and that you have a worth of being one with nature, and being alive through the outdoors. And so that's how Primal Outfitters was started. United, and part of this too is in August, I had gone to an event called Vets with Nets, put on by a couple of different groups. United Veterans of Michigan is a big part of that event. And so going to that event and seeing all these, people, not just veterans, but these people volunteer their time and their boats and just everything to take veterans out fishing, that helped kindle this as well, and added a little bit of a fire to it. So seeing and being a part of that event and volunteering with my buddy who had a boat at the time, because none of this other stuff had happened at this time. So that event happens during June. So right after that event, all this stuff with my grandpa and everything else happened.
Right.
So just going to that event and being a part of it and seeing, the potential that is there, that helped light that fire too. So with the help of United Veterans of Michigan, who does hunting, fishing, camping trips, but they find guides that take guys out. It's not necessarily a service. A couple of their board members, Pete Pierce, amazing guy. He's not a veteran, but a couple of their board members like him and stuff like that, they'll take guys out and whatnot. And they do a lot of different volunteering stuff. And them guys over there, they're on the east side of the state, so they do a lot more walleye fishing, that kind of thing. So with their help, we're like, I went to Pete and was like, look, man, I want to start my own thing on the west side, but I want it to be more like a service. So he helped and guide me through a lot of this stuff. He was like, all right, well, you got to get your 501c3. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do this. Until then, we'll put you as one of our pro staff so you can start taking guys out now. You got the boat, you got the equipment. Let's get you out now.
Right.
So I started operating end of June, going into August of last year. We started taking guys out on trips through United Veterans at UVM, United Veterans of Michigan. Started taking guys out on trips, and then, just kind of testing the waters of it, and it proved to be very successful. So we moved forward with it. We got our 501c3. We got the insurance. We got everything. I partnered with Valor Training Center. He's one of my board of directors. John Michael is. So he got a 30-acre campus. So we were able to take guys out camping and deer hunting and everything on his campus. Blueberry farm mixture type field, field and woods, pond, perfect setup. So we started, we did our fishing season out on Lake Michigan. Once that was done, we had gotten our 501c3 package turned in with LegalZoom October 7th. So we got all that stuff in and started rolling, taking guys out camping, hunting. We had ice fishing trips planned. Unfortunately, ice fishing didn't really work out. We started, we got trapping. I started just doing everything I could with veterans outdoors. My first mate, Don, he was one of I took him and another veteran out camping and hunting, and he retired just a few months ago, and was like, hey man, I want to come volunteer. I want to come be a part of your program. I want to come go fishing, teach me. So he actually moved down here to be a part of what we got going on. He's my right hand man. He does everything with me right now.
How cool is that?
So
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
Yeah, I mean, so now we're coming. Ice fishing season kind of got little. I was little disappointed with the ice fishing season because I love ice fishing. That was something me and my grandpa really enjoyed doing. So, but now every time, like mornings, I don't have trips and stuff like that, I'll still go down and I'll sit on the boat, talk to my grandpa. You know, what do I do next, Grandpa? You know, point me in the right direction, help me out. Or, you know, if I'm out fishing and the damn things aren't wanting to bite, it's like, come on, give me one, Grandpa. Send one dumbass fish my way, dude. Come on. You got to look out for me.
It's like I just need one of these stupid sons of bitches. You know?
Exactly. So no, I spent a lot of time on that old boat talking to my grandpa, and I put a lot of time and work and effort into making that boat what it is now. I changed a few things on it, modernized a couple of things, but you won't find another 1987 Sea Nymph that is in the condition this boat's in.
Yeah,
She's a beautiful old girl. So it's original motor on it too. Old 2-stroke 88 Johnson Special.
That's good shit.
That boat is fast. I'm like 40 miles per hour on open water, fully loaded. You know what I mean? That's pretty quick for a fishing boat. So I can
booking it.
So no, she's a good old girl. I've realized though, running her as much as I have, is I am putting some heavy wear and tear on her, and there's certain veterans that we've expanded so much in the last few months. I mean, it's just been very humbling experience and realizing the total potential in this. Cass's mom and me are pretty close.
Right.
And she losing her son to suicide, and he was one of my seniors, and he was a great guy, and losing him was kind of a shock because I looked up to him quite a bit. He was in weapons platoon, but weapons platoon got spread out between the other platoons quite a bit depending on what we were doing. So Cass spent a lot of time in 3rd platoon with us. And so I got to know the man quite well and learned to respect him. And after Cass passed away, Pam, she's been working on getting her degree in psychology and mental health. And congratulations to her. She just graduated her final course that she needed to have. So she is now a nurse practitioner in psychology and mental health. So we're honored to have her on board as well. So if there's something that, you know, needs to be brought up and they, you know, one of the veterans that we need to take out or whatever, they want to talk to somebody that's not associated with the VA. We have her, you know, she is offered, you know, to donate her time to Primal, to, you know, to being able to talk to guys as well. One of the local charters that I've first mated for quite a few times. Great family. They're going on, I think, 7 generations now of commercial fishing the Great Lakes. Jimmy has taught me a lot. There's only two Cabela's sponsored boats, 2 Cabela's Pro Staff boats in the Great Lakes. They're both owned by the same family, and they're both out of the port of South Haven.
That's incredible.
So Jimmy has been nothing but a great mentor and everything else, and they offered us an opportunity to purchase a 30-foot Baja cruiser from them that would allow us to expand in the way that we need to. Because right now I have to subcontract another charter in town that has the deck space to be able to get guys in wheelchairs on it.
Right.
So now with this larger boat, which is going in the water next week, we're still looking for more sponsors. So if anybody would like to sponsor the boat, have their logo, we have a sponsorship program type thing. the money goes towards the boat and towards the cost of the insurance and all that good stuff. So there's a lot of space on a 30-foot boat if you want your logo on it. But with this new boat, we'll be able to do something that I don't know of any other company or any other entity that is doing really what we're doing. I know of 2 that are nonprofits. There's a captain out of Florida, Captain Schwanke, who's doing similar things. I think it's Valor with Fishing or Fishing with Valor. Sorry if I said that wrong, brother, but if he's watching this, I apologize to him if I butchered his name. But they're doing something similar out of Florida. And then there's us, and I know of another guy that's just getting stuff started down in the Gulf, down by Texas. And it's all veterans. It's the Schwanke, he's a veteran. The guy down in the Gulf, he's a veteran. I'll be able to provide. I don't have his exact information. I just got connected with him. So there's 3 of us, that are doing this type of service where we're veterans, and we were able to have that connectability, going and talking to, a shrink and no, I'm sorry to say shrink, but going and talking to somebody in a freaking office somewhere,
it doesn't always do it,
compared to being able to get out with somebody that understands and knows and has been there and gets it, and we can relate on that personal level, and to be able to talk about stuff and, give them a little bit of my story, but let them vent about their story, let them talk about what they went through, and, give them an opportunity, like I said, to connect with the outdoors, and then give them the tools, if they want to start going fishing on their own. I can teach them everything that there is about bobber fishing, river fishing. I mean, you want to get a kayak and go fishing out of your kayak, we can do that too. I mean, I've been dragged 2 miles down the coast by a king salmon in my kayak. Wasn't fishing for king salmon. I was fishing for coho. Had a spring king hit on a 6-foot ugly stick with 8-pound test, and I went for a ride. So
it's probably a good ride, I'm sure.
Oh, it was a very exhilarating ride. My fiance followed me in her kayak, like, well, I'm just gonna paddle. I just held on. So, and then the fish beat the shit out of me once I got him in the kayak.
I was gonna say, but you got the fish, right?
Oh yeah, I got the fish, and I have pictures to prove it. So
that's what I'm talking about.
So yeah, no, I mean, things have it's been, like I said, it's been a very, very humbling experience. Something I say quite a bit is I'm not a hero, but I serve next to quite a few, and I walk next to them, and that, that in itself, it being a Marine and going the places I was able to go and being around the people that I was able to be around. When I was getting out, I mean, well, when I went through SOI and everything like that, Sergeant Major Castle, I mean, I got to meet the man personally a couple of times. He was our Sergeant Major. When I was getting out, I got fapped out to, yep, picture it never happened. I got you. Go to the Primal Outfitters Facebook page, and I'll make sure I post a pic tonight of me holding the salmon in it on my kayak.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, and then book a fishing trip with me. So picture it never happened, and I'll show you it happened. But when you lose this bet, you got to book a fishing trip with me. So, I mean, and then, yeah, so what I got fapped out to TTECG. So I spent a few months with them guys, and I mean, I got to meet not Sergeant Major, but I think he was a major general, or I don't know, General Berger, who ended up being the commandant of the Marine Corps later on after I'd gotten out everything. But he was the general for Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center 29 Palms. So I got to drive him around and be around him, and the people that I've been able to be around and the guys that I've been able to be around. I mean, they're some of the greatest people in the world. And some of them are doing weird, quirky things now, and you're coming up in June. Bet.
Jason Steiner.
Oh, it's Jason.
It's Jason.
It says Facebook user. I can't tell who
I
it
don't
is.
know.
All right, I
I
got your date, buddy. I got your date. So no, it's been a really humbling experience going through everything, and then getting the different guys out that I've been able to get out and hearing their stories. I got a Medal of Honor recipient I'm taking out in August, and then the guy that provided him, he's a Medal of Honor recipient from Vietnam. I don't want to drop his name or drop any dimes, but he's also a part of our American Legion post 49. He was my teacher in high school, football coach and wrestling coach, and then President Trump awarded him the Medal of Honor for his actions in Vietnam. So you can do your Google research on who that is. But so I'm taking him out in August, and the guy that a couple of the guys he served with, one of the guys being which that provided the machine gun fire for him to be able to go save the lives that he saved and earn the Medal of Honor that he earned. So it's, like I said, just this whole thing's been it. You meet guys that did the longest destroyer deployment since World War II. I mean, he's sitting right next to me right now. He's been able to go out and go on one of my fishing trips, he's now a commander of one of the American Legion posts in the area. So I've been able to be around a lot of great men in the last year, and it's made me realize that this is the right direction to go. And one of the messages I got was a couple months ago. I booked a trip for a guy in June, and he said, "You know what? Thank you, man. The last few weeks have been really, really hard, and I have something to look forward to now."
How
And
incredible is that?
that hit home. It really did. It hit home, and it really made me realize that, this is going to work. This is going to make a difference. If I can just save just one guy from doing what 48 of my brothers have done, that's all that's going to matter.
Yeah, absolutely. So how cathartic has this been for not only the veterans that are doing it, but how cathartic and how beneficial has it been for you?
There's days where I want to bash my face against the wall. And unfortunately I've seen veterans take advantage of it. So there's been a couple of guys, they almost bragged about going on every free hunting or fishing or camping. Really? There's only been one in particular that really rubbed me the wrong way, and he will never step foot on my boat again, or he will never, if he tries to hit me up for a trip, I'm sorry, man. And I hate to be that way, I accept any veteran. I don't look at DD-214s, right. Show me some sort of proof of you being a veteran. I don't care if you were dishonorably discharged. I know quite a few Marines that were dishonorably discharged that were stellar Marines. They just made a simple mistake. So I don't judge. It's not my place to judge. I'd show me a picture of your VA ID or show me a picture of the veteran tag, because in Michigan, on our driver's license, it says veteran right on it.
Yep.
Show me a picture of you being in the military, and if you do send me a picture of your DD-214, I'm not looking at your discharge, and I delete it right after I get it. I'm not here to judge. It's not my place to judge you or what you did or how you served. You went where you were supposed to go. You did what you were supposed to do. This is open to everybody, and it's not just open to veterans too. We also want to get our first responders out, and our law enforcement, our firefighters, our paramedics, our on staff EMT, the ER nurses even, so
Right.
we're open to the people that serve, and then Gold and Blue Star families as well. We want them, to be able to get out and, say they lost somebody and they just need, they just need to get out and they need to get away and they need to talk to somebody, or just have a minute or a moment to themselves. That's what we're here for. So it's helped me. It's helped me a lot. It's helped me with my own recovery, because, I can't do the things I'm doing if I'm, if I'm in that dark place or if I'm messed up in that, in that type of manner.
Right. Man, I love to hear that. I'm so glad it's helping you. I'm so glad it's helping so many people. I mean, it's awesome to get to see everything you're doing. And to go with that, you're not just doing fishing, right? You're doing a little bit of everything.
We're doing, if you name it outdoors, we do it. I got stuff for snorkeling. There's a shipwreck right on the coast that we can go snorkel. I got special UV lights so we can go rock hunting. You got to be careful because they run from you sometimes and you got to tackle them. I'm not kidding, dude. The wave catches them and they're gone and you got to go floundering for them. So, but we have special rocks on our coastlines in the UP and down here. They're called Upra lights or fluorescent sodalite. And we have special lights that, they look like dragon eggs. So we got special, we do that kind of stuff. We do kayaking, we do tubing, we do camping. If you name it outdoors, we are doing it. And if I don't know how to do it, I'll go out and learn with you. We can go do it together. We can go figure out together. We can go make mistakes together. That's all about just trying to be out in nature and connecting. Connecting with the outdoors is the key.
Right.
About everything.
TG, you're pretty big in all this stuff as well. I mean, what do you see? What are you taking in right now?
I mean, given the choice between going to therapy and talking to a doctor, or going outdoors hunting and fishing, I would do that every single time, hands down.
Well, let's go fishing, brother. Or let's come on up. I mean, we got property in Baldwin that we can go to. We got property in the UP we can go to. And we just had property in Texas donated to us. It's kind of I got to figure out what the hell I got to figure out what the fuck I'm going to do with that property because it's in the middle of nowhere. So, but they were gracious enough to donate it to us, so it's ours. So we just got to figure out a purpose for it.
So you're growing everywhere, man.
Dude, I'm trying to. I like being the person that goes on every single trip. But I want other veterans that have the same mindset of being in the outdoors to be able to be a part of this and get them out into the outdoors and share the same love that I have that my grandpa gave me. I mean, it's the part of the lineage. And he was a Vietnam vet, he was a trucker in the Vietnam. He drove the deuce and a half and that kind of stuff. I got all this from him, and I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for him and wasn't for the Marines and the guys that I served with. And You know, I owe everything to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, much respect, and I love that you have so much passion for everything your grandpa taught you and gave you, and I mean, it really does. That inspires me, just to be a better person. Just seeing everything you're doing. I mean, I love seeing it, brother. I really do.
Yeah, our trips are at no cost too. So everything we do is through donations, fundraisers. If people don't want the meat, whether it be fish or small game or whatever, if they don't want the meat, I try to do something with it where I can, do a fundraiser with it, or we're working on a few different ideas for dinners up at the Legion Hall, so we can keep putting money back into this, because creating this, you want to go on, I'll put something in perspective. If you want to go on a chartered fishing trip out of South Haven, after you pay for the charter and you make the tip, you're looking at spending $1,000, if
Right.
not just under, if you short tip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're without a tip, it's $650 to $700 just for the trip, and then after you're done tipping, because it's kind of, the first mate works for gratuity, 9 times out of 10.
Mm,
So after you're done just paying for a fishing trip out of South Haven, you're looking at spending $1,000. You know what I mean? Not everybody can afford to do that.
right.
Right.
So being able to alleviate the stress of the cost of what we're going to go do, take the stress of the cost away, take the stress of, you know, how am I going to be able to afford this, or what, like, I could never take my kid to go do this. These guys can, guys and gals, they can bring their kids, they can bring their friends, they can bring their family members. They can bring the people they want to bring with them to go enjoy this. If they want to be alone, they can be alone. They don't
Yeah.
have to bring anybody with them, but if they want to be alone, they can be alone. If they want to bring their friend, their brother, their mother, their whoever, I don't care. It doesn't matter who they want to bring with them. They are more than welcome to bring them with them, and we customize each trip to what their needs and wants are.
Which is tremendous. I mean, I don't know too many outfitters, I guess, that do that. I mean, where you guys are truly there for the recipient. Or
Yeah, I mean, if they want to fish all day, we can fish all day. If they just want to hang out by the campfire and not go hunting, we can just hang out by the campfire and not go hunting. I'll go grab some meat out of the freezer, and I'll cook some bomb ass food real quick. And that's one thing. Anything that we catch or harvest, I know how to cook it, and I know how to cook it good. Like, my old lady hated fish. She got mad at me because I went and got perch today, and I didn't bring her. Like, I had to get a to-go order for her. If I wouldn't, I'd be sitting outside making this podcast instead of in my chair. So
I
I
love
mean,
it.
I can cook food good. I mean, I can cook the food we harvest, or I can cook it for us. We can throw it on the smoker. We can throw it in the cast iron skillet. We can go cook it over an open flame. You know, that whatever, we can do it all. It's all about adapting and overcoming and learning and making adjustments, and and that's, again, we've had a lot of demand recently. So one of the things we're working on is getting a tracked wheelchair that will be able to get guys out into the woods in the tracked wheelchair, and then getting this larger boat so we can get, wheelchair veteran, people that are the more disabled physically out comfortably to where they can do this and be
Right.
a part of this.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it seems like you're continuously growing. You're aiming for a goal at the end of the day to actually keep getting more and more people in. How much more can you ask for? You know what I mean? So
Um,
what does moving forward look like for you? What's growing look like? I mean, you said you got land donated to you in Texas, and you got all this stuff going on. What's that look like?
Again, finding veterans that are capable of doing what I can do. Not everything that I can do, because not everybody's going to be good at fishing, but finding other veterans that are willing to join this cause that necessarily can't work that 9 to 5. You know what I mean? That,
Right.
because I don't get paid for doing any of these trips. You know, I get my compensation from the VA. You know, and I'm not living in some $1 million freaking house. I'm in a single wide trailer out in the woods.
Oh boy.
You know what I mean? Like I got a F-250 and a and a Suburban. You know what I mean? Like we're not driving around in Mercedes and fancy vehicles or none of that stuff. You know, we live modestly doing what we're doing. You know, sometimes the business account and our funding has way more than what our personal account has, and that money stays in that business account. You know what I mean? It's not, I'm not collecting a paycheck off doing this at all. It's all volunteer. I'd rather struggle, to pay a bill than to ever touch that money that's there to take another veteran out, or to say it, potentially save a life.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're here for. I mean, we're here to help. And I love seeing that out of you. Everything you do, it seems like, is there to absolutely just help. It's not about anything other than doing what you say you're going to do. And that in itself makes you a unique person, to say the least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not just talking about being about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like TJ always says, don't talk about it, be about it. And speaking of talking about it and being about it, TJ, you got any questions?
No, man. I think you guys have covered it pretty good.
I was like, Gunny's been doing a great job. Just been fucking.
I'm sorry. I feel like I've been running my suck this whole fucking time.
Oh, you've been killing it,
No,
man.
man. That's what it's about.
And like fucking Jason says, you have a kick-ass beard.
Hey, man, it's a little. I'm not gonna lie. She ain't looking as glorious as she normally does. She's a little wind blown today, and I mean, like I said, it rained on. It was a rough day out on the lake today. I got my ass kicked out there today. And normally I put fish in the boat, but today is a day that I will humbly say they beat me. I couldn't even find one retarded fish in the lake. I couldn't, man. I couldn't do it. I don't know. It happens, man.
What's one of the funniest stories you had from doing this so far?
So my favorite trip, and to put in perspective, we've serviced over 200 veterans and their families already, and first responders. So we've serviced since October 7th is our official start date, but we'll say the beginning of August. Since the beginning of August, we have serviced over 200 veterans and first responders and Gold and Blue Star families.
Awesome.
So we're doing it almost every day. So my favorite trip was just actually recently. We took a Army.
This is an inside joke. This is my mom. I call her retard half the time.
Oh, she wasn't in the lake. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be using that kind of worm to catch you. Sorry. That was a bad joke.
It was funny. That was funny.
That was a good joke.
Here we are. That was funny.
So, no, we just took out, and my fiance, who is our treasurer, and she does a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. She got to go with us on this trip. So it was me, my first mate, Don, and my treasurer, Kristen, and fiance, and my person. We got to go on this trip with this wife and this Army veteran, and them guys were an absolute hoot. I mean, it was their first time ever. She grew up in Ludington, which is on the lake. It was their first time ever being out on the water, ever fishing that kind of way. I mean, we're moving, we're trolling. We're not sitting there bobber fishing. I mean, for salmon and what we're doing on Lake Michigan, we're trolling about between 2 and 3 miles an hour, give or take, depending on what the fish want. So, and we're running 12 lines, and it's, dude. So imagine trying to troll with 12 lines. We have planer boards out. We have dip sea divers out. I sound like the guy off from what's that movie with that
Forrest Gump.
no, not Forrest Gump. Oh, there's that, but no, the with the mullet and the freaking Dodge Charger. I'm having a brain fart. Yeah, Joe. I sound like the fire work guy off Joe Dirt. We got zingy zoos and biddity bops, but no, we got copper lines out with planer boards. We got high and low divers that are dip sea divers. We got down riggers. We got high line. I mean, just you name it. So we're running 12 lines, and it can turn into a chaotic mess really quick. So I mean, these guys, they had a great time. The jokes were flying left and right, and just seeing them connect in a way that, you know, there's a picture, if you go to our Facebook page, there's a picture of them kind of cuddled up on the front of the boat, and just seeing the personal connection between them two doing something like this, the first time together being out on the lake. She got to reel in a lake trout. He got to reel in a lake trout. It was their first time ever catching that kind of fish. Just seeing that intimate connection between them, that meant a lot. That it really did. And just seeing this, knowing that we did something for them that they've never experienced before. They've never been able to, be, only when we turn the boat too sharp. I've seen that comment. You got to take wide turns. So, so it happens though. It does happen where a fish will grab one line and run it into 3 other lines, or all 12 lines go off at once. Last year we had sorry that you got me changing subjects, but last year we had all 12 lines go off. I mean, bang, 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 Lord, bang, man. Bang. And so it's a Chinese fire drill on the back of the boat at this point. I netted 2 fish at the same time. So they both came up at the same time, and they're not small fish. We're talking, 20, 30 inch fish, depending on what's going on. So I net these 2 fish at the same time. They get all tangled up in the net, throw that net in the boat. Those 2 lines are, out of commission. Grab the other net another fish, throw that fish in the boat. That fish is all tangled up in the net. Now I'm out of nets. So I got 9 lines still out that have fish on them. So I climb into the back of the boat, and as they were reeling in fish, I was grabbing the fish with my hands and grabbing the line, grabbing the fish, and literally heave-hoeing them into the back of the boat. We got all 12 fish in the boat. Absolute shit show. My shit was so tangled up at the end of that trip. Like when we got all the fish, and I just kind of looked at everybody. I was like, "Well, we're done." That's the end of the show. So, yeah, no. But going back to that trip with that wife and that husband, that was seeing that connection between them, and because I feel like, because I seen that same veteran and the Hooks and Heroes event that we did last weekend, and obviously it wasn't not a lot of these veterans events that we have throughout our state, because there's a couple. There's Vets with Nets, there's Hooks with Heroes, there's the Operation Injured Soldier events. Unfortunately for those events, you got to be 30% disabled or more. A lot of those events, it's just for veterans. You can't bring your wife. You can't bring your kids. You can't. It's just not. It's not the way that those events are ran. So being able to bring her with him, dude, it was that one got me in the, in the feeling that I got left.
That's awesome.
So that one meant a lot.
That's so cool to hear. That little shit. God, yeah, you've covered everything so well. I'm just like sitting here like I could have questions or I could not.
Another fun trip I had. I took out 3 Army veterans and they brought me crayon candy.
Hell yeah, dude. My
Like legitimate crayon candy. And
one of my
that
best friends bought me some of that shit too. He thought it was hilarious.
Dude, I laughed so freaking hard when they busted that out. Like, because on the front of my boat, I got on the front windshield of my boat, I got 03 double crayons.
Hell yeah.
So like when they busted those out, that was cool. Yes, crayons. Another cool trip. I just happened to see it in the corner of my eye. United Veterans of Michigan sent me this plaque, but that trip, the camera's gonna screw with it. I don't know if you guys can see that picture, but that trip was another cool one. It was an impromptu trip. The plaque says, "As token of appreciation, your donation and a waving, all the nice things." So that trip was pretty cool. I happened to be getting some perch at the Captain Lou's right on the river, heading out of our harbor into the lake, sitting in there, and I was talking with this family and stuff like that, and they were there for a wedding, and one of the family members were like, well, our grandpa's a Vietnam vet. And so Vietnam vet showed up. I talked to him and I was like, you want to go fishing tonight? He was like, are you serious? How much does it cost? I was like, nothing. And so he kind of got emotional about it. And then his brother, he was an Army vet. His brother was a Marine Corps vet, and he had just recently passed away.
Oh no.
And the Marine Corps vet that had passed away, his son was there too, and he was a first responder, and he was a firefighter. And so I convinced him. I was like, look, you're coming too. Your dad served in Vietnam. You're a firefighter. You're would it be uncle? Your uncle your uncle is a Vietnam vet, Army, you're going fishing. And he was kind of reluctant. And I told him, I was like, look, dude, I went to recon school. Like, I know all sorts of different kind of knots. You can either get in this boat or I can make you get into this boat. We're going fishing. So he got in the boat, and that picture I showed is him actually. That's him reeling in a fish, and then that would be his.
So cool.
Yeah. So that picture, I like that picture, and
that's awesome.
So, and that's my grandpa's boat too. That's in the picture as well.
That's so cool, man. Love seeing that. That being said, we don't want to keep you all night, man. I just know fucking you've got guests and what have you. So.
Oh, I mean, he's eating a ho-ho. What is that, a ho-ho? What is that? Is that a Long John? Yeah, I don't know.
Berry and cream. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and this is Mr. Dillon. He was in the Navy. He's also he's been on my boat, and he is a commander of Post 160 American Legion in Bangor.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear.
Hell yeah.
So
That's awesome.
we got a really tight knit of group of veterans in this area that have really came together. Our post is the South Bangor post is awesome. They have way better food than our post. I'm a part of the South Haven post. We had 2 living Medal of Honor recipients until just this
Man.
last December. Unfortunately, George Dewey unfortunately passed away. But I mean, if you guys ever want to come to South Haven, our post overlooks Lake Michigan. The view is second to none. I mean, the sunset during the summer is literally, I mean, it's postcard sunsets every night. It's beautiful. The town's a beautiful town. It's a rather touristy town. There's plenty of where's my fiance at? She's not here. There's plenty of eye candy, if you know what I mean. So there's a lot of different things to look at in town. So she's beautiful and I love her to death, and she knows that. She looks more than I do. So but South Haven's a beautiful place. Like I said, we can go camping in the general area. If somebody wants to come out and do a fishing trip, we can go camping the night before. They don't necessarily have to pay for a hotel room. If a hotel room needs to be provided, there's ways that we can work that out. So lodging is taken care of. Everything's taken care of. These trips are done. These trips are done for nothing. You know what I mean? A lot of time and effort, but other than that, it doesn't come out of their pockets.
That's pretty awesome.
So we want to provide something. Not everybody can afford to take a vacation and do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so you better bet we're going to be up there at some point.
So we're really working with a lot of different veteran groups right now. Mission 22 and 22 until none. They've been great. I've reached out to Grunt Style. I've reached out to 9 Line Apparel. I'm trying to get them to grab on it.
That's from Jason.
What the hell is that cat doing? Yeah. Target practice later. So
Jason says, how about coming out for a pre-stock or pre-hero stock party? That
would be amazing. That's something else. Yes, Jason, you got to come up. There's different, even if we don't do that, the American Legion, we got the flywheelers. There's like 1,000 acres that we can go play on. And they got a little choo-choo train too, like a little miniature steam locomotive. Nothing like a bunch of, veterans running a train together.
That's never
been
happened
there
in the history before.
So, you know what I mean? So,
we're picking up what you're putting down.
The Navy guys in the front.
I'll be the caboose. It's okay.
Oh, I thought the Air Force. Were you in the Air Force?
No, I was a Marine. But...
Well, I know. I was joking. I figured the Air Force guy would be in the back.
Nah, I'm just happy to be involved,
So no, definitely. The American Legion Post would be a beautiful spot for hero stock. Just to do a small little thing. It's we have a lot to offer here. And it's just getting people to want to actually come out and do it, and then also looking for sponsors. There's a lot of people that you guys want to get your name out there in a good, humbling way. We'd like to be able to offer that to you guys. Have your name on the side of our boat, or sponsor a couple of fishing trips or camping trips.
Right.
Or rock hunting, or all the list of 1,000 different things we do. But it's going to make a difference. It's going to help a lot of different people, and us having 99% of the equipment already. Our cost to actually being able to do this is very minimum. us trying to expand, that's what's costing, we're trying to come up with $17,000 right now for this boat through sponsorships and that
Right.
kind of stuff. So, that kind of cost of expanding, but once we have it, we have it, and the cost to maintain it, I got mechanics that were a part of the military, that are willing to donate their time. Something goes wrong.
That's
It's
incredible.
finding, being able to maintain it after we get it that's the easy part, and then being able to continue to operate it, that's the easy part. Because we're able to do things, we have sponsors with the oil company that supplies the fuel for the fuel station in the marina. So we get, our fuel costs are cut substantially just because of that. Being able to go out on private property with our camping gear and our equipment that we already have, that cost is already gone. It's free. It doesn't cost us anything to go pitch a tent out in the woods, but the value that it actually holds to be able to do that, that's where that, the value that what we have to offer is,
Right.
is,
It's
I
from,
mean, you can,
it's from Mark. He's one of the vets that I know personally. He's a great guy, but he's all about it, man.
so, I mean, yeah, I know I've sat here and ran my suck quite a bit, but, you guys, I mean, I'm here as long as you guys want to talk to me. You guys got any questions or anything about how we do things, or?
Well, so far you've answered all my questions. I'll kick it over to TJ, and then we'll kind of let you do your thing. I know we've got shit going on, but life is life. It keeps going on with it, whether we want to or not. So
Very true.
So, if for the proof of service, do you have an email address that you want them to email to you, or do you have like a just on your Facebook page? How do you usually do that?
So like proof of service and stuff like that, it can either be sent to our email, the primaloutfitters@gmail.com. That's on our website. So we have a website as well, www.theprimaloutfitters.org. We have our Facebook page, the Primal Outfitters Inc. Follow, like, you can send it through Facebook. You can send it through our email. My number is on both. My phone doesn't leave my freaking side. It's always here. I normally have my watch on too, so it's charging right now, but my watch or my phone is always here. On our Facebook page, it literally says we're always open. Even if it's not to book a fishing trip or a camping trip or whatever, if you just need somebody to talk to,
Yeah.
my phone's always on.
yeah.
I'm always available. And I'll answer the phone at 1:00 in the morning, 2:00 in the morning, 3, whatever time it is. So you can text it to me, you can email it to me, it can be sent through Messenger. After we get that, and all we do is we see it, match the face to the name, that's done. It's deleted, and then we automatically put you in our system. So you're registered in our system. So then after that, we don't need to see it again. It's not something, well, you guys show me no. We see
Right.
it once, you're good, you're in. The only thing that we really require out of anybody is to have a valid fishing license, hunting license, that kind of thing. If you don't, we can help you get it. I can help, show you what we can do it online. We can go in person to a bait and tackle shop or whatever. We can get you the license that you need to have, the appropriate license that you need to have for what we're going to go do. And so have a valid, appropriate license. And then we have a release of liability form that we have to have people sign through our insurance. And that's it. It's only
That's
two things you
awesome.
need.
Hell yeah.
If you don't
Easy peasy.
have the proper clothing, I got the clothing for you. I got 3 Gore-Tex hunting suits, so I got tents, I got camping chairs. I mean, I literally have everything. All you got to do is pretty much show up,
That's
and
awesome.
everything is provided. Food can be provided. Sometimes you're going to be eating like mountain house meals. If we're going out on like an outdoor type excursion, we add a little bit of boiling water, and they're really good. Mountain house meals are great. I'm trying to hit them up for a sponsorship too, because of how much we use their product. I just actually kind of a cool one. I just talked to the guys from Chillin' Reel. I don't know if you know what the Chillin' Reel is.
Yeah, it's it's a koozie with a little thing you can fish with, right?
Exactly. They're sending us a couple of them, and we're gonna try to catch a king salmon with one.
That's badass.
So if you see a video of me getting ripped off the back of a boat holding a koozie, you know what happened. You know what
I'm
happened.
talking about.
So that's a goal we're working on right now. And like I said, we've reached out. I've pretty much throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks at this point, to see who would like to sponsor this and who would like to help us with it. And like the way we would like people to sponsor is more than just monetary value. If if these guys want to go out on a trip with us and see and experience what we're doing, we're welcome. We're open to be able to, do those kind of things too. If the veteran or whoever we're taking out is comfortable with it, but to have them be able to go on these trips too. Is there any fighting?
I don't know. We're talking like fist fighting. What
Yeah,
I mean, I'll wrestle somebody.
That's what I'm talking about.
I could catch a raccoon and you could fight that little bastard if you wanted to. I mean, what are we talking about? I mean, there's different ways we can look at this. I mean, if you want to fight a king salmon, I could put you. Is there anything like this in Southern California? Oh man, you're asking the wrong person about California. I hate that state. I was stationed. I went to MCRD San Diego, and I was stationed in 29 Palms. So I don't have much love for California and 90% of the people there. So I mean, I love all Americans, to each their own, but yeah, I think it's a little. I had it too here, but I'm stuck. Well, is there a way we can get you unstuck?
Yeah. Is there anything we can do to help?
Yes. Is there any way we can get? I mean, I got a tow rope. I mean, do you need help getting out here? I mean, we could figure out something, to help you get out here. I know there's a few different American Legions that've offered that kind of help of getting people out, helping people get out here. There's another outdoors group that kind of does. Let me adopt out my kids. I'm not going to touch that one.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that one be. We're just going to let that one go. Fly like an eagle on this one.
Yeah.
That being said, man, no, I think we can kind of wrap things up here. No, frick, man, it's been awesome having you. You got so many good stories, and you're doing so much good. I love it. I'll kick it over. Do you have any like final words? You have. I know we're all about pimping you out. I know you're looking for sponsors. We'll get it out there to keep sending them your way. Anything we find, and
yeah, and like we want to do stuff for our sponsors too. It's not just give me money, and we want to be able to do stuff for them too. We want to make sure that they know that what they're paying for, and show them that there is that what is sponsored or donated you know, what that is, what kind of value that truly has. A
Right.
dollar goes 1,000 miles with us. You know, we make things work, and we make things work at such a low cost. And we do it safely. We're not cutting corners anyway. We're able to do things that not a lot of people are able to do, at a price, you know, that not a lot of people are able to function at.
Right.
You know, being a nonprofit, and you know, the fact that nobody's taking any money out of the pool. It's all going towards the next person that goes out, you know, or the next person that books a trip. And like I said, it's what they want to do. They want to bring somebody with them, they can. If they want to be alone, they can be alone. You know, I've had, you know, hunting and camping trips turn into what was supposed to be a day, you know, turning into 3 days. I had the time available. So shit, well, I'll stay another night. Well, then it turns out, well, can I stay another night? Yeah, man. Like,
Hell yeah.
can I stay one more? Yep.
You betcha.
You got to go home eventually, though.
You can't just stay here forever.
Yeah, you can't just stay here forever. But you know, we try to do everything we can for everyone. Each trip's customized, so yeah. And like I said, sponsors and that kind of stuff, we want to make sure they know that, you know, and we want to represent them in the right way, in more ways than one, and then let them know that what their contribution is, what it's going towards, and how it's affecting, you know, affecting lives and potentially saving lives.
That's awesome. All right, TJ, let's send it over to you for your final spiel. This is my favorite part of every show.
Yeah, man, just reach out and touch somebody, you know, and don't be a cocksucker. If someone's saying they're having some issues, listen to them, try to help them out a little bit, you know. If you notice that people are posting dank ass memes and they're not posting their dank ass memes, then hit them up and just see how they're doing. And that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah.
Give us a like and a follow, some reviews.
Yeah. Like, share, review us. Hit up the Primal Outfitters on Facebook and everywhere they're at. We've loved having them on here tonight. Josh, thank you so much. It's been incredible. We're going to stay in touch for sure. I'm gonna have to get my ass up to Michigan though. So,
hey man, you got a spot on my boat anytime you want, brother.
So
both of you guys do. You both are always welcome up here. Let's get something planned. I'd like to have you guys up here. Maybe we can do a live show out on the boat or something like that.
See, that'd be awesome. That's what I'm
talking motorboating son of a bitch.
Oh, dude. hey, either your chest or never mind.
We're here for all the fun. But that being said, we'll wrap up this episode. Like TJ said, give us a like, drop a share, give us a review. Everything that goes with that, hit us up on Instagram. We're on the Shadow Mark Podcast. It's pretty simple to find on Instagram. Shadow Mark Society of Misfits on Facebook. Hit us up. That being said, have a good night, guys.